Hey friends, Peggy Hall back with you from thehealthyamerican.org. A lot of my viewers will be riveted and watching the live Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Senate confirmation hearings. Now, my computer does not like it when I am playing live video from another source. It's very jagged. The audio doesn't match up with the video, so I will have to do the blow-by-blow analysis for you tomorrow. But I did want to share with you questions that I have for Kennedy. So if I were on the committee, I would be asking questions, which I posed some time ago in my video called Questions for Kennedy. And I even have a Substack by that name. And I'm going to be sharing with you just a handful of questions you'll see here. I'll come back to that. But I did want to also share with you a couple of headlines and other screen grabs. So let's take a look at this now, shall we? This was very controversial back some time ago when I did a compilation of videos from the mouth of RFK Jr. himself, where he said, I don't think we should be mandating medical interventions for unwilling Americans unless we know precisely that that vaccine is going to end up helping them rather, he has a little bit of an accent, he said, rather than hurting them. And that was back in 2019. Some of you will also take issue, as I did, with this image over here to his right, to our left, where there looks like Band-Aids or some kind of masking tape over the mouth of these students. Keep in mind the date, 2019, a mere few months, October 2019 to be exact, a mere few months before we, the unwilling Americans, were told to restrict our breathing and to cover our faces for the common good. So what this statement says, and a statement that he stands by, is that he believes in mandating medical interventions for unwilling Americans if that is going to end up helping them rather than hurting them. Now, let's take a look at another one here, shall we? This is a direct quote. He says in an interview with News Nation, this was in June of 2023, he says, I've said it hundreds of times, I've never been anti-vaccine. With Piers Morgan, July in 2023. July of 2023. People call me anti-vaccine, but I'm not anti-vaccine. I have an entire playlist on my YouTube channel called RFK Jr. And you'll hear in these compilations where he himself says that he is not anti-vaccine. Here's another image of him. Now, this was a quote that came out today in the Senate hearings where he states, RFK states, I believe that vaccines play a critical role in healthcare. Kennedy told the Senate Finance Committee. I'm looking for that exact clip, and I hope to have that for you tomorrow. The comments are flying in the live chat for his Senate confirmation hearings. And I do understand that there are plenty of my healthy Americans that have told me in comments that they believe Kennedy is just saying that he is playing politics, that he is not really pro-safety, and he is not really in favor of the safety testing that he is constantly calling for, and that is just a ploy in order to be more acceptable to the common American. Well, I have some questions for Kennedy, and let's take a look now, shall we, at these questions, and I would love to see if they are going to be asked. My question is, why the focus on safety, on vaccine safety? There, I said it. He talks a lot about vaccine safety. But if we're going to be talking about these cocktails, why not focus on the harms, the dangers, and the side effects? Now, some will say, this is how Kennedy gets around the censorship, but I would like to hear him explain that himself. Where's the push, number two, to repeal these heinous laws? And I'm talking about the 1986 law that removed liability for pharmaceutical companies. This law created a vaccine court with a mere $250,000 limit, a cap for damages, which is an amount that's woefully inadequate for families affected by these injuries. Now, he has started to change his tune over the years since I've pointed this out, and he does appear to be making some statements in terms of working toward repealing that 1986 law. And I wholeheartedly applaud that. My main question, and this is the one that is most troubling, is why advocate for more testing? He has repeatedly called for expanded safety testing for the childhood cocktails, as I call them. But what does that really mean? Think it through, friends. Who are going to be the guinea pigs in this scenario? If you're testing for childhood cocktails, that means they need to be tested on more children, which expands the use of these products getting into people's bodies. It enriches the pockets of the pharmaceutical companies because they are the ones that are going to be doing these tests. And are we going to trust them as well? So I am 100% against that. I'm not calling for more testing. If people are drinking poison and dying, I don't want more tests for them to drink poison and die. I want to put a ban on the poison altogether. I would also ask, what do you mean exactly by restore confidence in the regulatory agencies? He constantly is talking about restoring confidence in the CDC, the FDA, the NIH. Did we ever have confidence in them to begin with? I never did. Now, I'm also shocked that he never mentions that his uncle, that he is always referring to, JFK, was the one who got the ball rolling with the childhood pincushion programs through his initiation of federal government assistance for these programs in public schools. Yes, friends, those are just a few of the questions. I have noticed that he has not referred to our republic as a democracy lately, so I'm glad that someone in his entourage is watching my videos and telling him to pipe down on the saving democracy. So those are my questions for RFK Jr. Let me know your questions for him in a comment below. I have done videos in the past about my concerns about his Maha, which also has a strange connection to Freemasonry. But my bigger question is, how do you make someone healthy? And is it the government's job to make Americans healthy? Will there be a prescribed number of calories for you to eat every day of certain food groups? Will you have to perform a certain number of exercises for a certain duration? Will you have to go to bed at a certain hour? Will your junk food be restricted? So I have other concerns about the Make America Healthy. Again, I've done videos in the past. I will link it for you here, as well as my Substack, peggyhall.substack.com. I will continue to watch these live hearings, and in the coming days, I will have more analysis, which is why you're tuning in, is to get my take on things. I never will endeavor to tell you what to think. I want to help you how to think by applying critical thinking skills, including asking questions, digging deeper, questioning the narrative, looking at past performance and track records, and together helping me as we march this all the way to heaven.